there's hardly anything government can do than to tell you there is danger ahead.
Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 clears all Nigerian airports to reopen, just as it suspends all travels for government meetings. Military intensifies efforts to flush out bandits in the Northwest Zone. Chief of the Defense Staff personally visits camps to review strategy.
We support 100% the evolution of the National Agricultural Development Fund.
Nigeria's quest for food security gains legislative backing as Senate presents bills for establishment of National Agricultural Development Fund and National Food Reserve Agency. Work with universities management in harmony. Education Minister charges new boards of 13 universities. Good evening and thank you for joining us on the Network News, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria. I am Kenan Ima Abodike, and reading with me tonight are Adeola Kome Akere from Lagos and Dibabari Seidoma Nweke in Port Harcourt. Let's start from the National Assembly, where a legislation towards establishing a fund for sustainable financing of Nigeria's agricultural sector and ensuring food security is in progress in the Senate. The bills for the establishment of the National Agricultural Development Fund and National Food Reserve Agency have been presented to members of the public who described it as well-timed. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko takes it from here.
It was another opportunity for the public to take part in bill process in the National Assembly.
This committee has been diligent in preparing for this public hearing. It is not only because they have 3 bills before them, but because the issues are a priority in the diversification of our economy.
Stakeholders in Nigeria's agricultural sector made their inputs on the 2 bills, with the Minister of Agriculture leading the pack.
Very important for the growth, development and promotion of agriculture. The National Food Reserve Agency bill is particularly significant at this time.
The Agricultural Development Fund, we have seen the draft bill we have gone through, and we are fully, Central Bank is fully in support.
Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, like others, supported the bills, but differed on the proposed sources of the funds, while the Federal Inland Revenue Services opposed the Development Fund bill.
If you situate the funding of these agencies, or of these bills, in these funding sources, we may encounter problems.
It will be more efficient to appropriate funds through the budgetary process than setting up multiple agencies.
And we support 100% the evolution of the National Agricultural Development Fund, because it is a sine qua non for R&D and food security.
Us understand the enormity of the problem of financing agriculture in Nigeria. So there is no going back on the issue of funds. We will fight. Those of you who think we don't need it can go on fighting. We will fight that Nigeria needs it.
The bills have passed second reading in the Senate. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Unko, NTA News.
And still talking agriculture, more than 130 farmers in Jigawa State have been equipped by the federal government to benefit from the newly introduced smart agricultural practice that is taking the advantage of emerging digital technology to maximize agric-based profits. Now, Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, rounded off the training program being facilitated by NTA through a virtual ceremony held in Dutse. Mohammed Musa Askira has details.
In the quest for Nigeria to diversify and explore other areas away from oil-based economy, especially agriculture, many programs have been designed to improve the existing reality of the sector for enhanced output. One of such programs is the National Adapted Village for Smart Agriculture, a special program created to digitalize agricultural practices in Nigeria by the federal government. Jigawa State, given its potentials in agriculture and the challenges farmers face to fully realize those potentials in the sector, such as flooding, spaced and irregular rainfalls has been chosen as a pilot state for the program.
What we only need to do is to ensure that we deploy the relevant technologies, build the capacity of our farmers.
For a start, 130 farmers have been trained on the modern farming practice using digital technology to farm with precision to maximize the quality and quantity of the farm produce. The farmers were presented with a bag of improved rice seeds, 1 unit of water pumping machine and 1 unit of smartphone, as well as a dummy check of 100,000 naira each. Governor Muhammad Badr Abubakar appealed to the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy and the Director General of the Nigerian Information Technology Development Agency, NTA, to scale up the program to involve more beneficiaries for the benefits of the state. The farmers were advised to use the skills they have acquired to better their future and that of the state. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Farmers groups have expressed confidence with ongoing military operations aimed at curbing activities of bandits in the northwest and north-central parts of the country. This is coming as the House Committee on Agriculture describes activities of bandits as capable of destabilizing the nation's agricultural development. Musa Babali reports that Chairman House Committee on Agriculture stated these at the distribution of inputs to farmers in Abuja.
Farmers in the northwest and north-central Nigeria are ranked the major producers of grains in the country. For instance, farmers in the regions have successfully pushed the country's maize production from 8 million tons in 2015 to more than 18 million tons in 2019. The insecurity in the northwest and central, occasioned by banditry, farmers say is constituting a threat to the farming activities.
This issue of insecurity affected many farmers because there are some areas, most of the farmers, they didn't even go to the farm.
We are coming with a stiffer law that will ensure that anybody found guilty in terms of this banditry and criminality will be given a life sentence or a death sentence.
The ongoing military operations have rekindled the hope of farmers as they commence activities for the 2020 farming season. This therefore necessitated the distribution of farming inputs to maize farmers in the FCT.
So there is need for us to create synergy for the two sides to meet, where we have the producer and the off-taker. I know the CBN is trying to do that, but in a larger perspective, the ministry is playing that role.
The inputs were procured through the Anchor Brewers program with a view to assisting smallholder farmers boost agricultural production. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Now, in an effort to cushion the effects of unpleasant situation, the National Emergency Management Agency has shared relief materials to over 5,000 victims of communal clash in 2 communities in Lamuru, the local government area of Adamawa State. Abdullahi Ayuba Dalwa reports that the gesture is part of federal government's effort to assist victims of disaster.
Communal clash in Tino and Tito villages of Lamur, the local government area of Adamawa State, left mass destructions of lives and property, as well as rendered many homeless. This necessitated the sharing of relief materials by National Emergency Management Agency NEMA to 5,000 affected victims of the incident with a view to reducing their untold hardship.
The federal government has done what they're supposed to do at the right time.
The items will relieve us a bit of the situation that we passed through.
Flagging of the exercise, the Director General NEMA, retired Air Vice Marshal Muhammad Muhammad, represented by the head of operation in charge of Adamawa and Taraba states, Mustamidala Ilya, sympathized with the victims and expressed federal government's determination to continue to assist victims of insurgency, communal clashes, and less privileged persons in the society.
And we pray that God will prevent this unfortunate incident in the future.
We are looking for all ways, all avenues through which we can ensure peace reign.
In Yola, Abdullahi Ayuba Dalwa, NTA News.
Now let's turn to education. The Minister of Education, Adamu, has inaugurated governing councils of 13 federal universities with a caution that due process, abiding by government rules and transparency in selecting principal officers are adhered to at all times. Adamu noted that avoiding selfish and unpatriotic behaviors and forming a harmonious working relationship with the management will enhance efficiency and address issues like admission racketeering, examination malpractices, immoral attitudes among both students and lecturers.
It is also our expectation that you will ensure good management, growth, and development of these institutions without recourse to interference or what we here call micromanagement in their day-to-day running. Governing councils should all time be abreast of current laws, government policies, government white papers, circulars, gazettes, and other relevant documents that will help in taking decisions.
The minister also explained efforts by government for safe school reopening, adding that meetings of stakeholders in education, state commissioners of education, vice-chancellors, provosts and rectors was held last week to facilitate that. In politics, APC candidate for the Edo governorship election, Pastor Osagie Izeyamu, has presented a blueprint for the development of the state if elected in what he calls simple agenda for sustainable prosperity and holistic development. Odrakabong Achibong reports.
The Edo State governorship election is coming at a time when Nigeria is battling the coronavirus pandemic. In line with INEC protocols and COVID-19 guidelines, candidates are re-strategizing to reach out to the electorate without physical contact to sell their candidature. Pastor Izeyamu is therefore exploring the social media platforms including Facebook and YouTube to tell the Edo people what he will offer them if given the mandate. For Izeyamu, the privilege of serving the state in various capacities has given him a unique insight into workings of government. His simple agenda is an acronym representing the 6 cardinal programs he will focus on, namely security and social welfare, infrastructural development and urban renewal, manpower development and training, public-private partnership, leadership by example, as well as employment creation and social development.
Through this roadmap that we have called the simple agenda, we are entering into a covenant of hope with the Edo people that once we are elected, things will change for the better.
The online engagement afforded Nigerians opportunity to phone in and send text messages. For Pastor Osagie Izeyamu, he intends to continue the online engagement to discuss the simple agenda sector by sector. In Benin, Udrakobong Achibong, NTA News.
All Progressives Congress has assured all governorship aspirants on the party's platform in Ondo State of transparent pre-election activities that will prevent the party from litigation. Secretary, Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Committee of APC, Senator John Abano Odedehe, reaffirmed this while presenting the report of the Governorship Screening Committee to the Appeal Committee at the party's National Secretariat. Chairman of the APC Ondo Governorship Appeal Committee, Umar Lawan Kareto, said the committee will critically analyze the reports of the screening committee and ensure fair hearing and consideration to the presentations by all the 12 governorship aspirants and come out with an acceptable result.
By the screening committee, giving someone an opportunity of a second chance. We have to do everything possible to make sure we don't have what happened in states like Bayelsa and other states that we lost. The loss is very painful, we are yet to recover. So whosoever is aggrieved should avail himself or herself of this distinguished house. At least second hearing, you have to fulfill all righteousness.
Go and look into this
and critique and educate it and come with a very positive analysis of whatever is done by the previous screening committee. We'll do our best.
Meanwhile, the party's caretaker secretary has urged various APC support groups to remain resolute and sustain the principle and spirit of progressive ideology with the current leadership of the party. He reminded the party's women groups from South and the Federal Capital Territory during a visit to the party's national headquarters to remain ambassadors of the APC at all times. This is NTA Network News. We'll pause for a break. Stay with us.
Data plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Dial *777# to choose a plan. Glow Unlimited.
This kind of nonsense has to end today. Why would the bank be removing somebody's money every time like that?
Mr. John.
My neighbor.
Yes, sir. Why are you rushing to like this?
Can you imagine? I just sent money to my son, and I got a debit alert of 15 naira from my bank as stamp duty. I am going to seek explanation from my bank because I made a transfer, not post a letter.
Mr. John, let me explain what stamp duty is. Stamp duty is not all about postage stamp matters. The 15 naira is a stamp duty levy charged by banks on customers who make transfers of 10,000 naira and above from one bank account to another bank account.
And why should I pay stamp duty for my hard-earned money?
Mr. John, paying stamp duty levy is a civic duty for every patriotic citizen. The taxes we all pay are collected and used by the government to pay salaries and provide basic amenities for citizens. It's even easier to make stamp duty payments now. All you need to do as a taxpayer is to log on to the following: www.stampduty.gov.ng or www.firs.gov.ng and click on e-stamping. By the way, Mr. John, it pays to pay your tax, you know.
Oh, thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you, my daughter.
You're welcome,
My
sir.
regards to your family.
All right, sir.
This broadcast is powered by FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service.
The chairman and members of the House of Representatives Committee on NDDC cordially invite stakeholders and the public to an investigative hearing on the alleged financial malfeasance and other activities in the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, scheduled to hold on Wednesday, 15th and Thursday, 16 July 2020. Time, 11 a.m. daily. Venue, Conference Room, 231, New Building, House of Representatives, National Assembly Complex. Consequently, these stakeholders are expected to make presentation at the investigative hearing. Please note that presentation at the investigative hearing will be done under oath. Only invited stakeholders organizations that have indicated interest with the Secretariat to make presentation are to appear at the investigative hearing. And also, all established COVID-19 safety guidelines will be strictly adhered to. Honorable Olubumi Tunji Ojo, Chairman, Announcer.
It is your civic responsibility as a law-abiding citizen to always pay your tax as at when due. The government provides security and many other social services to make your life comfortable and to create an enabling environment for business to thrive. For tax payment convenience, the Nasarawa State Internal Revenue Service has created the Pay Direct platform and central billing system to generate 10-digit invoice numbers for payment in any commercial banks. Taxpayers can also pay their tax through point-of-sale POS terminals in our designated offices. Nasarawa State Internal Revenue Service solicits with individuals and corporate organizations to log into these platforms for seamless transactions with the Nasarawa State Internal Revenue Service in line with global best practices.
This message is from Nasarawa State Government.
As the second phase of the East lockdown on COVID-19 progresses, the Federal Road Safety Corps wants all drivers and road users to observe guidelines on interstate and intrastate travels as laid down by the Presidential Task Force. Consequently, all buses, taxis and tricycles are to travel at 50% capacity and use of face mask is compulsory. However, transport operators are to provide alcohol-based sanitizers and washing hand equipment in their parks. Passengers are enjoined to report any driver cited violating the presidential orders to FRSC call center through the toll-free line 122 or 0805-299-8090 and 0906-700-0015 for immediate action. The Corps Marshal FRSC Boboye Oyeyemi admonishes us all to be safety conscious during this period. Announcer BC Kazim, Assistant Corps Marshal, Corps Public Education Officer, FRSC.
Everyone has always been faced with a moral question between what is right and what is wrong. Yet not everyone is ready to do the right thing. This is where we come in. We are Jai's Bank, committed to making a difference by doing the right thing even if we stand alone. A place where transparency is an attitude and trust is a culture. A place where profit is shared and losses borne together. At Jai's Bank, we support you to shape a better tomorrow, a partnership to birth your dreams. Jai's Bank, for a better life.
Welcome back. Latest research findings about the novel coronavirus by the World Health Organization indicate that the disease can be airborne in addition to transmission through droplets. This latest discovery was communicated by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 at Monday's briefing in Abuja. Maritime was there.
Before now, the World Health Organization indicated that droplets expelled from a person infected with COVID-19 quickly fall to the ground or surfaces and are not airborne. However, a new research is indicating that COVID-19 can be airborne.
Over the past few weeks, increasing evidence has emerged that in addition to droplet infection, we cannot rule out that airborne transmission is also possible as a mode of transmission of COVID-19. It means that staying together in closed spaces, in clusters, such as in restaurants or a small room with very poor ventilation, increases the risk of transmission.
Halfway into its 6-month timeline to coordinate one national response to the coronavirus pandemic, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 is instituting tougher measures to curb community transmission.
All government offices shall continue to hold virtual meetings in their offices, especially where participants exceed 4 persons, and all unnecessary travels for meetings by government officials should be suspended.
The Minister of State for Education gave further clarification on the decision of the federal government not to conduct WAEC examinations.
It is authorized WAEC to impose those dates, and that we will be engaging WAEC to reconsider dates.
We're very glad that all airports in Nigeria currently are compliant with the protocols, so they are safe to operate in and out.
When will the train services resume? So this will be determined by the Federal Ministry of Transport.
The PTF is insisting on compulsory wearing of face masks in public places, observance of physical distancing, and ban on mass gatherings beyond 20 persons. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Nigeria records 16 deaths from coronavirus as India clamps down on black market for COVID-19 drug remdesivir. Let's join Adebola Bruscular Sunday for these and more on Global Update.
And
Amnesty International says more than 3,000 healthcare workers have died of the new coronavirus, a situation that raises concerns about unsafe working conditions, low pay, long working hours, and violence against medical workers in some countries, with Russia having the highest number of fatalities. Meanwhile, 2 experimental coronavirus vaccines by German and U.S. biotech firms have received the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's fast-track designation. The vaccines BNT162b1 and BNT162b2 are the 2 most advanced of the 4 vaccines being developed by the companies. And India has taken steps to clamp down on black marketers for remdesivir, an antiviral drug that has been authorized by European Commission for the treatment of COVID-19. On the black markets, the life-saving drug is being sold at exorbitant prices, which are even 10 times the costs. On the COVID-19 dashboard of the World Health Organization at about 7 p.m. Nigerian time, 13,213,308 persons have been infected with coronavirus globally. 572,903 deaths and 7,635,596 recoveries. On the African continent, 13,238 people have lost their lives to the dreaded coronavirus out of the 594,841 confirmed cases, while 297,480 recoveries have been recorded. With 571 new confirmed cases reported by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Nigeria now has 32,558 positive cases, 740 deaths, and 13,447 recoveries, leaving the country with 18,371 active cases. I am Adebola, Brooksland Sunday.
The coronavirus pandemic has been described as a serious national security issue which Nigeria and other nations of the world are trying to overcome. This was the thrust of the lectures by the Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Ehanire, and the Director General of NCDC at the 2020 Health Week at the National Institute for Security Studies in Abuja. Austin Anebe tells us more.
The pandemic is seen as a national security issue as many nations of the world, including Nigeria, lacked adequate health infrastructure to tackle the virus from onset. Minister of Health on the topic, the coronavirus pandemic, how prepared was Nigeria, said it took many countries significant time to overcome the earlier shock, but it's now on course, confronting it headlong. This is enabled by research, while abiding by the treatment and management protocols set out by the World Health Organization. Measures, he said, are being put in place to upgrade the primary health care centers across the country, as well as improve secondary and tertiary health institutions to cope with the increasing health challenges.
We have now expanded the sample collection sites to all general hospitals. The protocol has been set, the training has been done, and the materials have been provided, and then the logistics for collecting and recovering the samples and doing the central testing, which will greatly improve and increase the capacity and the throughput of the PCR machines we have on ground at the moment.
Director General of NCDC, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwazu, said ease of lockdown by the government does not connote reduction in the spread of the virus, but a means to averting imminent national economic and food security crisis in the country.
Nigeria has done fairly well, considering its size, its complexity, its population, to respond. And you will see that, yes, we've had consistently increasing numbers, but we haven't had the exponential increase that we have seen in other countries.
The 2020 Health Security Week, which had participants from 18 federal agencies and others from the Gambia and Ghana, is organized by the Department of State Services and the National Institute for Security Studies. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
And talking security matters now, Chief of the Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonisaki, is meeting troops on the front line of the fight against banditry in the northwest to boost their morale to succeed in the renewed internal security operations. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
It is no longer going to be business as usual for bandits and other criminals terrorizing many communities and rustling livestock in the northwest and central zones of the country. The launch of Exercise Sahel Sanity to complement other operations aimed at flushing out the bandits have continued to attract the attention of top military hierarchy.
Within these few days that Exercise Sahel Sanity commenced, tremendous successes have been achieved in the areas of clearing the bandits, recovery of rustled cattle, recovery of kidnapped victims being rescued, and of course of other criminal activities that were stopped.
Few days after the Minister of Defense Bashir Magashi visited, now the Chief of Defense Staff is here in person to further enhance the operation. While expressing confidence in the ability of the Super Camp strategy to enhance internal security, the Chief of Defense Staff emphasized that victory over bandits cannot be compromised.
From the briefing I have just received and from what I have seen here today at this Super Camp, there is no doubt in my mind that the scourge of banditry will soon be a thing of the past, and all law-abiding citizens will be able to resume their normal lives.
The Chief of Defense Staff was earlier briefed at the operation room and later inspected the entire layout of the camp. From the Nigerian Army Super Camp in Faskari, Katsina State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Nigerian military says the air component of Operation Hadarindaji has attacked another armed bandit camp in the southwestern part of Kuyambana Forest in Zamfara State, neutralizing scores of their fighters. The Directorate of Defense Media Operations says this was achieved through airstrikes executed on 10th July 2020 after human intelligence reports and series of reconnaissance missions established the hideout of ISWAP elements and fighters under the notorious armed bandit kingpin Dogo Gede. Several bandits who attempted to flee on foot and on about 15 motorcycles were mopped up in follow-on attacks by NAF fighter platforms. Sources later revealed that several of the bandits were neutralized and their motorcycles destroyed as a result of the airstrikes. The Armed Forces of Nigeria sincerely appreciates the continued support and cooperation of citizens towards ending banditry, terror, and other crimes. In the meantime, the Nigerian police force has condemned action of a police officer inhumanly treating a human in clear violation of his rights, dignity, and freedom. A statement from the force public relations officer, Frank Mba, however, says the police has fact-checked and examined the video and declared that the incident did not take place anywhere or at any time in Nigeria. The statement notes that the vehicles on the neither scene are neither common vehicles used in Nigeria nor are they number plates of Nigerian pattern, just as the dialogue in the video is not any of the known Nigerian languages. The police calls on citizens to discountenance the video as a clear mischief and restated commitment to always respect and uphold the rights of the citizenry. We're now joining our Lagos Network Center where Adeola Komiakere is waiting with some reports.
Thank you, Kenny. The 3 days warning strike embarked upon by members of the Medical Guild in Lagos State is already having its toll on patients. Hingino John Adams, who visited the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, tells us more.
Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, known to be very busy with patients and workers trooping in and out, is almost becoming a shadow of itself.
I have been to that ward now. No patients and no patients. And some of the patients that are there, most of them are crying. They say, "Doctor, please see them, see them."
I noticed everyone was kind of dried. Less activities going on currently.
They should also consider humans in this pandemic period. They should also consider saving life and not just money.
This situation has now left many patients to their fate. The doctors are using the warning strike to compel the Lagos State government to meet up 70% of its demands, including the unresolved wage disparity between the federal and Lagos State doctors.
Because of the seriousness of the situation, the
association took a decision to have a warning strike instead of an indefinite action, with a plan that we could get back to the table and continue the negotiation. Yesterday, which was Sunday, a meeting held between top government officials of Lagos State, and there was also an intervention by the First Lady of the state and even Mr. Governor. And then our hope is that as we move forward, we can quickly resolve this. We are hoping to get the resolutions that were agreed on, communicated, and then we'll move on from there.
Doctors manning the various COVID-19 isolation centers are, however, exempted from the strike. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
And now to judiciary. 10 alleged pirates have been arraigned before Justice Ayokunle Faji of the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos for a 3-count charge bordering on hijacking a fishing vessel. Tunde Saiki has details of the latest proceedings.
The defendants are Frank Abaka, Jude Eberaga, Shino Alolo, Joshua Iwiki, and David Akinsheye. Others are Ahmed Toyin, Shubanjo Said, Adekole Phillips, Matthew Massey, and Bright Agbedeyi. They were alleged to have been armed with dangerous weapons while committing an illegal act of violence against the crew on board the fishing vessel in order to take control of same. They were also alleged to have violated the Suppression of Piracy and other Maritime Offences Act 2019. When the charges were read to them, they all pleaded not guilty. The trial judge, Justice Ayokunle Faji, adjourned the case to July 15, 2020 for the hearing of the defendants' bail applications and commencement of trial. He then ordered that they be remanded in the custody of the Nigerian Navy till adjourned date. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Another break beckons. The network news will continue after that time.
As part of activities to mark its 20th anniversary, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, in collaboration with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, is organizing an African regional Zoom webinar with the theme Combating Corruption and Illicit Financial Flows, New Measures and Strategies. Date Tuesday 14th and Wednesday 15th July 2020. Time 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. daily. Special guest of honor, Professor Yemi Oshimbajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Attendance is by invitation only. Sign, spokesperson, ICPC.
You see, as I talk to you plenty now, because I get glow too, that make me they talk. Please, I be not be so. All right. Don't be say I won't talk plenty. Una no self say I no dey lie. You see this glow? If you get them, una no go even una go just they talk they go because it's not there.
Enjoy international calls from as low as 40 kobo per second from Nigeria to the world. Call your loved ones today.
Thank you, my sister. You do well, eh?
Glow Unlimited.
He's a very tough guy who knocks out every opponent, but now he's been knocked down by malaria.
Amatem Soft Gel.
Amatem Soft Gel.
Amatem Soft Gel makes treating malaria easy.
Daddy, when I had malaria in school, they gave me Amatem Soft Gel. It's soft and easy to swallow.
Amatem Soft Gel is a game changer.
The opponent is down only in round 1. Amatem for Soft Gel are good to combat malaria for body.
Available for adults and children. Say no to malaria. Yes to life.
You clean your teeth every morning, but that fresh breath feeling just doesn't last. The answer? Easy. You keep your teeth strong and healthy and give your mouth long-lasting fresh breath with new Oral-B 2-in-1 toothpaste. It helps strengthen your teeth and gives you long-lasting fresh breath.
So fresh, still fresh, and still fresh.
Stay strong, stay fresh. New Oral-B toothpaste for strong teeth and long-lasting fresh breath.
Period pain may stop you at the worst time. Don't let period pain hold you back from being your best. Panadol Extra, effective relief from period pain.
understand that it's not just about buying a dress. Being able to pay your bills.
The TV is showing cartoon.
But I just paid for it.
Promise.
I promise.
Making that quick stop at the shop. Or sending some money home for the holidays.
We just received the money right now.
You're welcome, Mom. I told you I would send it.
It's about the 90,000 businesses across 13 countries in Africa who trust us to keep their promises. It's knowing that anywhere, anytime, anyway, you can always pay. Flutterwave, simplifying payments for endless possibilities.
Close Up Deep Action with antibacterial formula and deep cleaning gel keeps your teeth clean and protected. Close Up Deep Action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath and more.
Treat your family to a cereal that's made from the natural goodness of maize and soya protein and specially combined with Grain Smart, a smart combination of vitamins and iron. So that they have the right kind of energy to help them reach their full potential and turn the simple into amazing. Eat up and carry go because nothing do you. Golden Morn, make every day amazing.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Thank you for staying with us on the NTA Network News. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the reconstitution of a 5-member board of the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG) and the Bonny Gas Transport Limited. Former Minister of Energy Edmond Dakori is the chairman of the NLNG board, while Henry Kemobi, Rabiu Suleiman, GMD of NNPC, Melekiari, and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum, Bitrus Nabasu are members. On the board of the Bonny Gas Transport Limited are Edmond Dakori as president, while Doyin Akionju, Abdul Abar, GMD of NNPC, Melekiari, and Permanent Secretary of the Petroleum Ministry, Bitrus Nabasu, are members. Meanwhile, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timepere Silva, had a telephone conversation with the Saudi Minister of Energy, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, on the developments in the global oil markets, the improvements in demand for oil, and progress towards full implementation of the OPEC agreement. Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman, the chairman of the Joint Ministerial Monitoring Committee of OPEC, emphasized the importance for all OPEC participants of meeting their production stated in the agreement in order to accelerate the rebalancing of the global oil market. Minister Silva, however, clarifies that his country has not yet met the terms of that agreement and is currently below the level of the agreed cuts, and Nigeria will raise its level of conformity to 100% and will compensate during the months of July, August and September for the overproduction in May and June. Now, OPEC and allies set to meet Wednesday over demand in the global oil market. Moplank Dakok has details on business news. Hello, Moplank.
Hello, Kenny. OPEC and allies are set to ease output cuts this week as oil prices remain steady this Monday. OPEC anticipates demand recovery, with Saudi Arabia proposing relaxing the group's production caps by 2 million barrels a day. The group is expected to meet Wednesday via a web conference to debate current and future production. Brent futures remained unchanged at $43.24 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose 4 cents or 0.1% to $40.59. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed all authorized dealers to immediately discontinue the processing of all forms of maize importation. The CBN, in a notice this Wednesday, says the move is to increase local production, to stimulate a rapid economic recovery, and to safeguard rural livelihoods to increase jobs in the country. Now, nations are still trying to curtail the impact of the coronavirus pandemic, which has left no economy unattended to. A development economist says policymakers in Africa must now absorb lessons from the experiences of other countries and avoid policy mistakes. He also suggests that in order to inculcate their countries from their crisis, African countries should resort to effective management of natural resources.
In the COVID pandemic, I see countless opportunities, that we can explore, because a lot of the requirements, to maybe return the global economy back into shape, it will be predicated on organic products that will be coming, from places like Africa. Agriculture, agro-allied services is a very, very major way to go. Okay, the mining.
And talking stocks, the Nigerian Stock Exchange took off on a weak start this Monday as investors wait to see outcomes of signing of revised budget as well as the medium-term expenditure framework. The NSE All-Share Index closed negative as investors lost 55.17 billion naira. The NSE All-Share Index recorded a decline of -0.44% to close at 24,200.60 basis points. Market capitalization dropped to 12.6 trillion naira, below the 13 trillion naira mark. Investors exchanged 231.2 million shares in 3,950 deals, valued at 2.1 billion naira. Transaction in the shares of Sterling Bank, FCMB and Fidelity Bank topped activity chart in terms of volume of traded shares. NASCON led 14 gainers as against 17 losers, topped by Mobil at the end of the day's session. And that's it on business news. Kene?
Thank you, Boplank.
All right.
You're still watching NTA Network News. Diba Barise Domanweke is standing by with more reports at our Port Harcourt Network Center.
Port Harcourt International Airport, Omagwa, is one of the airports that recently commenced domestic flights amidst COVID-19. Osinachi Abraham sought the views of residents on the reopening of the domestic wing of the airport. The reopening of the Port Harcourt International Airport on the 11th day of July 2020 with full flight activities is coming after 3 months of closure due to the outbreak of coronavirus disease. The closure no doubt affected all sectors of the economy. With the reopening of the airport, residents of Port Harcourt say it will bring about a turnaround in the dwindling economy.
People will begin to move from place to the, and in so doing, it will enhance and improve the economy.
We can't cluster in order to make that revenue. We have to work modalities to make sure that we distance ourselves.
As important as the opening of the airport is to the overall revival of the economy in this era of coronavirus, some are of the opinion that the health of passengers and workers must be considered.
The temperature monitoring of all the passengers, staff that are accessing the terminal building has also been very satisfactory.
5 airports have been reopened for flight activities in Nigeria amidst COVID-19 in Port Harcourt. Osinachi Abraham, NTA News. The inauguration of Community Policing Advisory Committee across states of the Federation by the police is yielding results in Akwa Ibom State, as the police is uncovering more criminal dens and arrest of suspects through tip-off. State Commissioner of Police Mohammed Edgar said community members are now cooperating and reporting crimes to security agencies. Clement Barikwi reports.
In the past weeks, the police in Akwa Ibom State are breaking new grounds and bringing to book perpetrators of rape and defilement. This success story, according to the State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Edgar, is mostly possible through collaborative effort with community members, a strategy that is achievable the community policing advisory committees. CP Edgar is of the opinion that the Nigeria police has begun a journey to bequeath a policing policy that will be acceptable to the people.
The figures will begin to decline because as people step forward to report and as these rapists, these offenders are punished properly by the law, others will take a cue.
Members of the Ibionibom Local Government Community Policing Advisory Committee said the project is one that should be supported by all Nigerians.
We shall do more to make the Ibionibom totally crime-free.
We make sure that the men who work and ensure peace.
With this committee, the police and other security agencies now have seamless access to information that will lead to more crime prevention. In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
And that's our bit from here. Network Day continues with Kene in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you, Odibabari. Now, Nigeria has presented her second voluntary national review, VNR, on the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, to the United Nations High-Level Political Forum. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Princess Adejoke Orelope Adefolure, said the context of Nigeria's presentation is on 7 areas of priorities. Oluseya Adabo has details.
It's been 4 years since Nigeria domesticated 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, in addition to prioritizing areas of need. Implementing UN member countries are expected to present voluntary national review at the Economic and Social Council ECOSOC High-Level Political Forum held every year. This year, Nigeria joined 44 other countries, including Kenya, to present a second voluntary national review on the implementation of the SDGs. Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDGs, Adejoke Orelope Adefolure, presented Nigeria's progress report at the second panel session held online for the first time because of COVID-19.
Nigerian 2020 Voluntary National Review on Sustainable Development Goals focuses on key issues of poverty, inclusive economy, health and well-being, gender equality, enabling environment, peace and security, and partnership for the goals.
In a symbolic presentation to newsmen in Abuja, the SSAP observed that regardless of the huge challenges arising from COVID-19, the VNR is backed with data collected at the national and sub-national levels. The VNR is a 95-page document detailing integration of the Sustainable Development Goals into the country's national development planning. In Abuja, Oluseya Adiagbo, NTA News.
We have one more commercial break on tonight's network news. Stay with us.
Now it don't shell oh. See as then they go to the left, to the right. The defender stand down for ground. Go fight to conquer. Plenty things full ground for you. It's not the sweepers like this oh. No feeling be like this at all. Conquer excitement inside football action. Sports for GoTV. Enjoyment not in sweet pass to watch. Connect live action for La Liga, Serie A, Premier League, and WWE. As they hot, it don't settle. Get GoTV today for 9,200 naira. Where they come with 1 month GoTV Max subscription to enjoy correct sports with the super sports. GoTV. Live it, love it.
We have observed the lockdown. We have practiced the measures in order to curb the spread of the virus, but we can do better. The coronavirus spread is increasing daily, and only together can we cut down the numbers and defeat the spread of the virus. Remember, COVID-19 is not a death sentence, and a recovered patient cannot spread the disease. Do not stigmatize. Do not hesitate to report any case, or if you have come in contact with anybody that has been infected with COVID-19. If you have cough and fever, please stay at home and call your state hotline. Find state numbers at www.covid19.ncdc.gov.ng. Remember, it is for your own good and for the good of every Nigerian. Let us do better and defeat the virus. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Thank you for staying with us. We'll now bring you sports update with Olumide Eguntola.
Young youth